Big up to Nippon for asking me to do a fan cam for today's game, West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3. Yeah, just giving you a 5 minute perspective from a West Ham point of view. Starting with the lineup, it was most of what we wanted in a lineup. I think we would have liked, the guy who's going to be a 40 million signing next year to Debo, along with the obligation to buy, to start instead of Mavropanos or Mavrobozo as I call him. And judging from today, I kind of predicted that Alvarez and Rodriguez were going to start together, which I wasn't going to complain about, but I would have preferred ideally Carlos Soler to start. Um, However, that's probably me being picky. The problem is also with, as it always is with West Ham, it's the striker situation as well. So Jared Bowen up front, we were calling for Jared Bowen up front, but I didn't really want him to start up front. But just for this specific game, whilst Nicholas Fulkirk is out, our options are very limited. Listen, we needed a lot of players in a lot of positions, but signing two strikers wasn't possible unless we were going to get someone on loan with an obligation to buy plus Fulkirk in itself. And that's a whole nother topic to talk about. But then it went on to the game. The problem is with the game is the whole game plan was wrong. Now, when I mean game plan, I mean it's fine to press high, but we didn't press high aggressively. It's fine to play football, but you're meant to play football, but there's no fluidity. Everyone's coming short to receive the ball. No one's running in behind to stretch the teams. So the problem is that everyone's running in the same direction and nobody's connected with each other. I think that's what was really poor from us to play on the ball. I think that's why Chelsea didn't need to do much to even beat us. Yes, Chelsea were way better than us, but Chelsea didn't even need to be at the highest level. I think Chelsea have got levels to go still. They didn't need to play at this mad, you know, world class level to even beat West Ham United today because they didn't need. Yeah, as I said, they just didn't need to. Outside of Max Kilman, Crysencio Somerville, and Mohamed Kudus, we didn't really have much going for us today. Max Kilman picking out some good passes, probably the best passer on the pitch for West Ham. Just outside the Chelsea perspective. Mohamed Kudus playing on the right, his normal position, or in the number 10, his other normal position instead of playing on the left was the Mohamed Kudus we know and love. And Crysencio Somerville wasn't getting anything because once he was beating the first man 1v1 and beating the second man 1v1, he didn't have any help from the midfield or the fullbacks, which is disappointing in itself. And the goals we conceded was poor. With this man marking system that we did allowed Alvarez and Rodriguez to just deploy themselves against Palmer and Jackson. And the problem is the mobility levels in that sense, where Palmer and Jackson are just too far ahead of Alvarez and Rodriguez when it comes to the mobility standpoint. And that allowed Jackson to just run through and score the first goal, which is a really bad goal to concede. And the problem is as well, like we've allowed ourselves to concede very early in this game, just like we did against Aston Villa, just like we did against Manchester City, and just like we did against Fulham, which has allowed us to lose for the third time in 5 games. And to me, that's not acceptable. A lot of people are going to ask my opinion on the manager. I don't know whether I don't know what other people think, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing, and it's not even because of I'm not a fan of playing football. Because last season, when I was complaining about David Moyes, people were acting like it was just a footballing thing. It wasn't a case of having to want to play a certain particular style of play. It was more for the fact of not getting the best out of the players you have, which is the same criticism I have of this manager. A lot of people are going to make the lazy comparison to David Moyes. However, David Moyes, we got battered for quite a lot of games last year, and including Chelsea away. So I'm not even trying to hear none of this David Moyes talk because Moyes would have approached the game and allowed us to sit back, and we wouldn't have been able to create attack just like today. And the problem is as well, you got to be more critical of the guy who's meant to be an attacking manager. So when we're not creating any sort of attacks that are dangerous. I was at the game. It was very disappointing. Early kickoff. And this club let me down once again, just like they did against Aston Villa, just like they did against Manchester City, and just like they did against Fulham, where we were lucky to get a draw. And it doesn't get any easier with Liverpool in the Carabao Cup and Brentford away next. But big up to Nippon. Thank you for having me on. Make sure to subscribe to Nippon's channel if you are new as well. Big up.